Here it is. This will most likely be our first hurricane of 2021. Hello and welcome back to another end of weather video. Today we are talking about Tropical Storm Enrique, which currently has maximum sustained winds of 50 miles an hour, minimum central pressure of 1,002 millibars, and is moving west-northwest at 8 miles per hour. So if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Now let's get right on into it. We're going to go down here and check out our warnings and cone and ICHs, and that means that we got a potential hurricane on our hands. Right now we have a low pressure center right off the coast of Mexico where tropical storm warnings and watches are in effect. Most of the tropical storm winds are on the eastern side of the storm, but that will change as this will continue to mature over the next almost week. So this storm is going to basically parallel the coast of Mexico and strengthen into a potentially Category 2 hurricane, then take a slight turn and continue to parallel the coast. So here is the arrival time of winds with wind speed probabilities turned on, and that's a lot of purple, which means that we have over 100% chance, basically 100% chance of tropical storm force winds. But I say over 100% chance because there's a very high likelihood that these purple areas are not just going to be seeing tropical storm force winds, but hurricane force winds as well. But of course, these all continually go down as time goes out because we do see some variability as we go out. Of course, that's why the cone does get bigger as it goes on. But let's take a look at how this storm is looking, and it's looking pretty good. So we have our center of rotation right there, and we have plenty of thunderstorm activity. We have clear banding out from the center of the storm, and a pretty much clear eye wall forming in here. So you get that tropical storm eye wall where it's really not clearly defined, but it is kind of there, and that's right in here. So it's looking great at the moment, and I could definitely see this becoming a hurricane within the next 36 hours. So here's our current storm information, and we're going to start off with our global and hurricane models. These are pretty spread out, but they kind of all follow a similar track, which means that there is a little bit of confidence in this storm in the current track. But you do have some variety, such as right over here where it takes that turn and just kind of leaks a little bit further away from the Mexican coast until it's going straight west. That is the GFS ensemble. Here's the GEPS, which is a little bit less information, but it kind of shows that paralleling track. Most importantly, the intensity guidance. So this has changed a lot in the last 12 hours. Now, of course, the storm has already become a tropical storm, but most of these models have us getting close to or into Category 2 strength, and some of these models even have it close to Category 3 strength. So there is a possibility here that our first hurricane of the year could be our first major hurricane of the year. So let's take a look at the European model real quick, where it is showing that paralleling track just like the National Hurricane Center is showing, but it is showing a little bit of a curl to the end, this mean line over here. So possibly we could be seeing this kind of take an odd track after it's starting to weaken. So just another thing to look out for. So here is the Hwrf hurricane model. This is going to focus in on the low pressure so we can look at the development of this storm. So this is it currently, and you can see that it's going to strengthen pretty quickly, and we're going to be looking at this right here as our main factor of strength. I will show the intensity later with those winds, but 995 millibars here going into Saturday, continuing to decrease That means that it is strengthening. Now we're at 985. Continuing to move on. Now, here is where we're definitely getting close to hurricane strength. 973, a lot of thunderstorm activity around that eye. We could even have 2 rounds of some very heavy rainfall right there. And this is where this storm gets really intense. 970, the rain is starting to batter the coastline of Mexico as this is getting closer. You can see all those reds really firing up there, hitting the coastline. All of those isobars here, those little black lines, are getting very close together. That means that the winds are very strong, and we are in the 960s. We have a clear eye of the storm now, and it's kind of just weakening off at that point. You can see the entire storm's getting smaller, and it is starting to go back up in millibars, which means that it is weakening off. But it does maintain decent strength for a while, and the Hwrf does have this coming close to a landfall in Baja California, probably as a Category 1 or strong tropical storm. So we're going to go all the way back here and look at our winds. So as of right now, you can see that we are at tropical storm force winds, but as this starts to strengthen, you do get some hurricane winds in here in those purples. But as this storm is starting to slowly strengthen, you get more of that purple showing up. Then we get into that phase where it was very, very strong and increasing very quickly. Could be considered some rapid growth. But now we have a consistent ring of hurricane force winds. We are at 970. And remember, this thing is still going to strengthen a little bit more. And it does get close to the coastline. You get that eye. Now we're getting close to Category 2 strength. And then, of course, it does start to weaken off, go back down to Category 1. And it does stay that way with those purples until it gets close to Baja California, according to the Hwrf model. Of course, some other models are not going to show that. But I think that this is a pretty safe bet that this storm is going to get very strong, but maybe not as strong as some of the models from our current storm information. So what do you think? Comment in the comment section down below. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time.